The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you here at 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Chris Burton, who is in this morning for Alex Fisher. And can you believe it? It is already July.
You know, I can't believe it. July 1st, here we are. Happy 4th, happy Friday to everybody out there. New pictures show what's left of an apartment following an explosion in central Bakersfield. It happened yesterday just after 2 p.m. at the Park 20th apartment complex on 20th Street near V Street. First responders say 2 people were taken to the hospital after an apparent gas leak led to an explosion at an apartment complex. As you can see, the blast ripped part of the apartment completely off the building, leaving glass and debris on the ground. The Bakersfield Fire Department said gas lines were still leaking when they arrived. And we're going to show you now new pictures showing the inside of the apartment unit shared by the fire department last evening. People living in the complex say the explosion hit like a bomb.
I felt like somebody just picked me up, threw me across my apartment. Sprinklers went off and I just got soaked. And I heard a bunch of screaming and yelling. And as my next door neighbor, his apartment, that's what blew up. Initially, I thought somebody planted a bomb outside by one of our doors.
Paramedics took 1 man away on a stretcher. Firefighters evacuated the rest of the building. There's no word yet on how the gas leak started or what sparked the explosion.
More than a dozen fireworks shows across California are being canceled following a massive fireworks bust at a warehouse in Mojave. Investigators say an unlicensed group out of Kern County by the name of Expo Shows Fireworks Events had been fraudulently offering to put on public display shows. Investigators say the business was unlicensed and had fireworks with fake state fire marshal seals. The company is contracted with nearly a dozen cities across the state to perform 4th of July fireworks displays, and now those cities are left trying to find vendors. And here in Bakersfield, another illegal fireworks bust. Check out this picture from Bakersfield Fire Department. They say a joint operation between several agencies led to this bust on June 10th. The operation led to the seizure of more than 2,000 pounds of illegal fireworks at a home in southwest Bakersfield. One person was arrested for felony possession of pyrotechnics for sale.
Well, if you're planning to celebrate the 4th of July with a bang, you should know how Kern County Fire and Bakersfield firefighters will be looking for anyone using those illegal fireworks. Firefighters say illegal fireworks are the cause every year of injuries and house fires. Kern County Fire has confiscated over 3,000 pounds of illegal fireworks leading up to this year's 4th of July.
The first time they're fined, it's $1,500. The second time that person gets a fine, it's $2,000. The third time is $2,500.
We're taking this seriously. Every piece of vehicle, every firefighter we have that can work will be working on the 4th of July.
The Kern County Fire Department is teaming up with the Bakersfield Fire Department. They are using their newest technology, a 10-foot-long drone that can fly up to 3,000 feet in the air. It also has a camera that can accurately identify where people are lighting illegal fireworks. Last year, there were 77 fires during the 4th of July. There were also 4 traumatic injuries connected to fireworks. Don't call 911 to report illegal fireworks. Use the website specifically set up for that purpose. We have a link to that website on our website, kget.com.
Your time now is 5:06. Ketanji Brown Jackson was once a law clerk at the Supreme Court. Today she wakes up for the first time as its newest justice. NBC's Chris Pallone has more from Washington.
Duties of the office on which
for the first time in the nation's history.
So help me God.
A black woman now sits on the Supreme Court. Ketanji Brown Jackson taking the oaths of her office after Justice Stephen Breyer retired.
All of the members of the court, I am pleased to welcome Justice Jackson to the court and to our common calling.
Jackson joins the court after a term that could affect American life for decades, with a key ruling on gun control and the overturning of the constitutional right to an abortion. Thursday, the court issued 2 more consequential decisions, weakening the power of the Environmental Protection Agency.
This is an historic evisceration of the authority of the EPA. to regulate greenhouse gases.
And allowing the Biden administration to end a Trump-era rule that made some asylum seekers stay in Mexico until their cases are decided. Republicans predict a surge in border crossings.
This is devastating for the state of Texas and the United States of America.
Before returning to Washington after a 5-day European trip, President Biden accused the highest court of upending American freedoms.
The outrageous behavior of the Supreme Court of the United States on overruling not only Roe v. Wade, but essentially challenging the right to privacy.
Mr. Biden now saying he favors a limited change to the Senate filibuster so Democrats can protect the right to abortion with a federal law passed by a simple majority. The top Republican in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, said the president's attacks on the court are unmerited and dangerous. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
5:08 your time now, and in your 17th Crime Watch this morning, we are finally learning what happened to a man who fled police across multiple counties before his body was found in an orchard off Highway 46. The Kern County coroner says he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities said 20-year-old Kittipong Kwanbuncharn of Lompoc and a juvenile were wanted in connection with a homicide that happened June 5th in Santa Barbara County and a carjacking, shooting, and armed robbery in Orange County. The two led officers on a chase through Paso Robles, ending on Highway 46 near Kex Road. The two ran into an orchard. Deputies arrested the juvenile but found Kwanbuncharn dead. Officers say they did not fire their weapons during the incident, and a gun was found near Kwanbuncharn's body.
The Bakersfield Police Department is asking for the community's help finding a 70-year-old woman who's been missing for nearly a week. Take a look. This is a picture of Madeline Davis. BPD says she was last seen June 24th in the 2600 block of Chester Avenue. She was wearing a dark-colored shirt and pants and black shoes. Davis is considered at risk because of her age. If you know anything about where she may be, call BPD at 327-7111.
3 people were arrested for allegedly smashing a display case and robbing a Rite Aid store in Northwest Bakersfield. Police say they threatened staff and stole perfume and cologne. Their car was found about 30 minutes later in front of Actus Junior High. 20-year-old Serena Aguirre, 21-year-old Itzioni Robinson, and a 16-year-old boy were booked into jail on suspicion of robbery and conspiracy.
And the BPD is asking for help identifying a man who allegedly waved a knife in an attempted robbery at a gas station earlier this month. Police say, or actually I should say in June, police say the man you see in the surveillance video image tried to rob the 76 gas station on South Union Avenue. He is described as Hispanic, 5'6", 165 pounds. If you know anything about where he may be, call BPD at 327-7111.
5:32 your time now. A special committee met in Sacramento yesterday to kick off an investigation into California's skyrocketing gas prices. With the average for a gallon of gas hovering well over $6, the committee seeks to learn whether Californians are being price gouged at the pump. Experts said brand name gas stations are charging higher prices at about 30 cents more per gallon, and some suggested California look into why the state doesn't have as many unbranded gas stations. Governor Gavin Newsom yesterday signed a new $308 billion budget, which includes gas rebates of up to $1,000 for California drivers.
I'm concerned that the concentration among the producers of the gasoline, combined with their vertical relationships downstream with their branded dealers, has allowed them to charge much higher prices and earn much higher profits in California, individually, not through colluding with one another.
For years, the state has been looking into a mystery surcharge in California gas prices that some experts said gas companies have not addressed. But representatives for petroleum companies and gas station owners point back to the state when it comes to higher prices. The committee will hold hearings over the next 3 to 4 months with industry experts, regulators, and consumer organizations. Its next hearing date is not yet set. And starting today, a state bill will make it easier to seize ghost guns. The legislation allows family members, teachers, co-workers, and employers to ask a judge to take away the unserialized weapons from someone they deem to be a danger to themselves or to the public. In 2019, officials said a 16-year-old boy used a ghost gun in a Santa Clarita school shooting, killing 2 students and injuring 3 others. California is one of 10 states to regulate the weapons.
In your 17 follow-up file, Delano officials now have a better idea where federal funds meant to improve the city need to go. 17's Christian Galeno has more.
Yeah, it's over $500,000 that the city of Delano will be using to battle its most pressing issues, among them the homeless population, and also bringing improvements to the streets and water lines of the city's west side.
When Delano city officials were stumped on how to effectively spend federal grant money, they called on the community.
The city of Delano is an entitlement city. We do receive funding every year from CDBG.
It's important that we cover the necessities that residents of Delano they're screaming for help, right?
The funds distributed annually through the Community Development Block Grant Program are to be used for direct action to the community. So where do residents of the growing town of more than 50,000 predominantly Latinx working class residents want federal dollars spent?
Every year we try to put something towards infrastructure, and that's really what the community had asked for.
This year, the city has allocated more than $230,000 for street resurfacing and water line improvements, particularly for residents in the western part of Delano. That's the oldest part of town and one that is severely in need of improvements.
Updating these things now, they're going to prevent us from having a lot more issues down in the future.
They wanted an infrastructure, they wanted in the water lines, they wanted in the resurfacing the streets, because I think it just makes a larger impact. You know, a lot of people, there's the most benefit, more residents benefit from that impact.
$129,000 will also go to pay a low-interest federal loan used to build the 11th Avenue Community Center and gym. That's expected to be paid off by 2036. And more than $89,000 will also be used to continue assistance for domestic violence victims and the homeless in Delano.
It's all thanks to the community and all thanks to the input as well.
And the city of Delano continuously has street improvement projects, but projects funded through the block grants can start as early as July the 1st. In Delano, Christian Galeno, 17 News.
The California Department of Toxic Substances launched its cleanup of polluted Delano groundwater yesterday. The Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board first uncovered a chemical commonly used in dry cleaning in the groundwater of downtown Delano in 2008. The Department of Toxic Substances confirmed the contamination and identified dry cleaners and former dry cleaners in the area as probable sources. Years after the investigation, a soil vapor extraction system is now removing the potential carcinogen from the water.
It's just a really big vacuum, essentially. So we have several hoses in the ground, 8 in total at different depths, and we will pull the vapors from the soil, from those hoses, for a period of about 5 to 10 years, depending on how it performs, what the concentrations do, and that will really it should address this plume to a point where it's protective of human health and the environment.
The cleanup comes after years of community advocacy by the Delano Guardians and numerous Delano community members.
Your time now is 5:37. We are kicking off the 4th of July weekend today, and while many will be out celebrating, it's important to remember the dangers of fireworks, and they don't just go skin deep. Local burn units expect a surge in patients over the 4th of July weekend, plus a surge in calls about mental health. 17's Moses Small reports.
Fireworks can be dazzling, but also dangerous. Doctors at the Grossman Burn Center at Memorial Hospital say they see 5 times as many patients as usual around the 4th of July.
We will see dozens of burn injuries. Most common injuries are 2nd and 3rd degree burns to the hands, the face, and the feet.
This comes after 2 teenagers each lost a hand during fireworks explosions last year.
Burn injuries are traumatic. They are painful and they can be life-changing. Prevention is key.
Combs urges you to use safe and sane fireworks if you're celebrating at home and take extra care around barbecues and grills. Experts say you should learn basic first aid for burns smaller than the palm of your hand.
You want to cool the burn for 3 to 5 minutes with cool water. No direct ice, no home remedies.
If symptoms get worse after that, or if the burn is bigger than your palm, you should go to a hospital, but that's not all.
The 4th of July can increase feelings of anxiety, sadness, and fear for those who may have been impacted by trauma like PTSD or might have issues with loud noises.
Fortunately, that's not the case for local Marine Corps veteran Richard Knight, who earned a Bronze Star for his service in the Vietnam War.
When I see fireworks, it just rises my patriotism and it makes me emotionally proud to be an American.
While he loves the fireworks, he'll never forget certain other loud noises.
The mortars screaming in. The sounds were way more horrific than it would be any flashes of light.
That was Moses Small reporting. And a reminder, if you're experiencing a mental health crisis, you can call the Kern Behavioral Health Crisis Hotline at 1-800-991-5272.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.